everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Christine. I'm here to do my weekly wrap-up. I got involved in listening to a book yesterday and I couldn't put it down, so I'm here today. Instead of a Monday, I'm here on a Tuesday. I have, I think, 2 more days off and then I have to go back to work for 2 days. And I have an appointment this afternoon for an ultrasound. Nothing major, just IUD issues. So I actually finished 5 books this week. So the first one was The Swedish Prince by Karina Halle, and it's book 1 in the Nordic Royal series. I gave it a 4. It's about a prince who needs time off because his brother had died, and his brother was the heir apparent to take over the kingdom, whatever. It is modern day, and so he's thrust into this position that he never wanted. So he takes a month off and he goes to America and meets, what was her name? His name is Victor. Hers is, what was it? Was it Maggie? I know she met him. She was a maid at a hotel that he was staying at. And she walks in on him when he's naked. And it's funny, but so later on that night, they're at a bar. Her and her friend are at a bar, and he's passed out at the bar. So rather than calling the cops, she decides to do the nice thing and brings him home to her house so he can, instead of going to the drunk tank. And so he wakes up. She's the oldest of her, was it 7 siblings? 6? Her brother, twins, another brother, 5. Her parents were murdered. So she's like the leader of the family now, because she's the oldest. She's the guardian of everybody. So her and her oldest brother are kind of taking care of the siblings. So the prince wakes up with a house full of people. And it kind of goes from there, but she finds out pretty early on that he's a prince. So she knows that if she continues a relationship with him, that her life will become public. And she kind of tells him later on that, I never signed up for this. Well, yeah, you actually did, because you continued. So she was a little bit of annoying, but I gave it a 4. I know I'm not doing this justice, but Maggie, her name is Maggie. So I will be continuing with that. Well, I continue with every series, even if it pisses me off. Just because I can't DNF. I just can't. There's a book that I DNF'd when I was a teenager, like early teens, like 12 or 13. I still think about it now. I want to go back and try it. I can't figure out what it is. I kind of remember the cover. Don't remember what it is. I just know it was a bunch of mystery books, like not a series, but yet a series. And it was a yellow cover with a black cat on it. And I'm talking 1987. I can't remember what the series is, or the book series. It was like it's hard to describe because it wasn't a part of a series, but it was. Anyways, I still have that on my brain now, and I can't figure out what it is. So, the next book I finished was Cat in the Dark by Shirley Russo Murphy. It's book 4 in the Joe Gray series. This one, I was enthralled. It starts off with the cats watching a cat and a man break into these places, steal money, and leave. And it's the cat who gets in first, and then the guy follows in and steals, and they leave. This cat also talks, they discover later. But the actual murder that doesn't happen until the 63% mark. But it was so enthralling. You kind of know what's going on with the robberies, sort of, or who's doing them. You don't know why. And sorry. And then the murder happens, and it's like, whoa. So I can't really get into it because it's 60% into the book. Yeah, it's cool. These cats talk. They can talk to the humans. They can talk to each other. They can't really talk to other cats, though. So it was good. I give it a 4 as well. Yeah. So the next book I finished was actually was Bet on It by Jody Slaughter. Now, I ranted about this before, and then I looked at the reviews, and everybody else is complaining about the same thing as well. The author has never been to a bingo before. She has no idea what she's talking about. The numbering system is screwed. She's mixing up one type of bingo with another type of bingo, and it's annoying. If she had done 5 minutes of research on bingo, she would have had it. She doesn't have it. And considering that at one point they're at a bingo, and there's 90 numbers in her system. There's only 3 balls left, and she finally gets 1 line. No. We play for full cards, which is 25 numbers on a card, and people have gotten it in 26 numbers. 24. Because the middle is a free. It's very rare, but it has happened. So for 87 numbers to be called and you still haven't gotten a line, and that's 4 numbers with the free space, or 5 if you're playing this other style of bingo, a little hard to believe. So yeah, I gave this a 3. You don't really see the relationship. You're told it. Their relationship happens behind closed doors. You don't see it. The only time you see them together is when they're having sex or some form of sex. You're not seeing the relationship develop. It happens over a couple of months, like 2 or 3 months. Yet they've only gone on 3 dates, and those 3 dates, they're having some form of sex. So, and then all of a sudden they're madly in love with each other. No, that's lust. However, the 2 things I did like about this book. Yes, she's black and he's white, so it's an interracial couple. And yes, she's plus size. But the author did such a good job of it with the simple fact that that's all it is. They're interracial and she's plus size. She's not the type of author that harps on the fact that she's black or harps on the fact that she's plus size to make it known. It was said once, done. So I like that because it was more natural that way. It was written like a man was finding a woman pleasurable to look at, regardless of her size, her color, anything. That was what he was attracted to, was just her. And she wasn't so insecure, she was more anxious. And it wasn't about her size. It was more, she just had anxiety over, just anxiety. It wasn't anxiety over her weight. It wasn't anxiety over her color. It wasn't anxiety over what she was wearing. It was just anxiety of like being out in public, in a public setting. Like she's not comfortable with a lot of people around. It was written naturally like that. So I really enjoyed that because it wasn't being shoved down your throat of the interracial or the plus size. It was just, it is. And that made me like the book a little bit more. But the other stuff was just, it felt clunky. It really didn't feel like a romance, unfortunately. So I gave that one a 3. And then I finished Until Friday Night by Abby Glines. Excuse me. Book 1 of the Field Party series, which I'm kind of pissed off at because my library does not have books 2 and 3, only 4 and 5. So I started this yesterday, listening to this, and I finished it yesterday. I could not put it down. At first, I thought it was going to be one of those roll your eyes, teen angsty books. Like, she's the poor new girl, she's mute, everybody's making fun of her, star quarterbacks, or the star football players, kind of rally around her because her cousin is one of them. That was like the first chapter. After that, it really got intense. You find out why she's mute, which is heartbreaking. So her father, she watched her father shoot her mother and kill her mother. So after 2 years of living with her godmother, she moves in with her aunt and uncle and her cousin. Starts new school, like senior year. And she meets this one guy. There is a little bit of cheating, unfortunately. He kisses her at a field party on a Friday night. And no, it was a weekend before the school. So when she starts school on the next, like the first day of school, she finds that he's got a girlfriend. And she's not happy about that he had cheated and whatever. So he's got issues as well. Like, he's not letting anybody get close to him because his father is dying of cancer. So, and he hasn't told anybody. His best friend, which is her cousin, has not found out. So she starts talking to him. She stops being mute to him because she feels that he needs her as somebody that won't tell anybody else what's going on with him. It gets really intense. It was so good. I could not put it down. I gave it a 4 just because there is cheating in it. There is teenage sex. It doesn't get graphic, but he's 18, but you don't know her age. So I'm hoping that she's 18. Yeah. So I gave it a 4. I don't know what happened there. There we go. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. And then the other book that I finished last night was Whispering Rock by Robin Carr. I gave this a 4 as well. I've said it before. It's almost like the old show Northern Exposure. I used to love that show. Where it's a small town. This takes place in California. But it's a small town. You get perspectives of everybody. And their stories. It's not just one story. It's the town as a whole. You get their stories. So you really get to meet the characters and get involved in their lives. So it's like a soap opera, but not soap opera-ish. It's small town living with issues, but trigger warning, rape. There is date rape. There is rape of, like, this is a story of Mike and Bree. And Bree is Jack's sister from book 1. And Mike is one of his best friends. So Bree, I can't remember if this happens in the second book or if it just happens in this one. I think it just happens in this one. Where Bree gets raped. And you get knowledge of it at the beginning, but you don't get the graphic details of what happened until the end. And it's vicious. She was an assistant district attorney where she lived. Like, she doesn't live in Virgin River yet. And she tried this man for serial rape and she lost. And he raped her. So, but it's intense. It really is. But her and Mike's relationship was very slow. Like, this takes place over... Like, Mike had met her before, but I think it takes place over several months, like 6 months, 8 months. I think so. Like, the end of summer it starts, and then it goes into like January, February. So around that time. But yeah, 4 stars. I loved it. Okay, so I started reading last night Tears of the Moon by Nora Roberts. I kind of remember the first one, kind of don't, but it is what it is. It is about a cabin in Ireland where there's a ghost that's trying, it's a trilogy. This is book 2. And it's the Gallaghers of Ardmore. They own a pub. In this cabin, there's a ghost of, there's like a history of the ghost. And the ghost is trying to right the wrongs of the past in order to open up something like her way home sort of deal. So this is the brother Sean, and he's into music, and he kind of spaces out, and the girl who's the landlord's daughter of the cabin, cottage, whatever, comes and fixes something. That's as far as I've gotten so far. Yeah, so it's Nora Roberts. Shouldn't be too much of a struggle. Hold on. And then I'm going to be starting, or actually I did start. I only got 4% in because I just wanted to start it and listen to it while I was doing something else. But it's book 1 in Oblivion series by Alexa Paget, and it is Sweet Oblivion. And all I know is he's a musician. And they, it starts off that they meet on the beach when they're 5. And she gives him a shell. Her parents are arguing, and he says, my parents do that too. And that's pretty much done. And then it's kind of catching up to, he's writing songs for his dad's band, and his dad's band is doing really well, but his dad is cheating in front of his kids because the mother is in Paris as a model or a commercial actress, whatever. So that's pretty much as far as I've gotten for that one. And then there was also one, let's see, one book I started, or I will be starting this morning, or not this morning, oh, what is it called? I need something to read while I'm at the doctor's office, or getting my ultrasound done, and, oh, stop, here we go. That's not the one I wanted. While I'm waiting for my ultrasound to be done, I need something to read, and I don't feel like carrying a book because I only carry my cell phone with me. Usually it's because it's got my cards with it, and that's it. Let's see. I know it's Honey something. Return to... It's on my phone. I just haven't started it yet. It's a Skip the Line, Braxton Brothers. Skip the line read, but it's a short read. And unfortunately, my library doesn't have book 0, which is the Second Chance Patriot, or it's also called Her Second Chance. And the book 1 is called Her Boss, but it's also called Coming Home to Honeygrove. And it's Braxton Brothers book 1 by Anne Marie Meyer. I don't know anything about it except that he comes home. And I don't know why different titles for different books, for the same book, but it's a sweet romance that follows, oh, stop. The first son of the Braxton family who's come home to the small South Carolina town of Honeygrove. Joshua is back in Honeygrove as a divorced single dad. He's decided that love is the last thing he needs. Beth is back in Honeygrove after losing her job and getting dumped. When Josh's mother, the town's busybody, arranges for Beth to be his nanny, Josh decides to go along with the plan. Even though Beth is no longer the lanky girl next door, Josh isn't looking for a relationship anyway. He can keep her at a distance, right? Everything seems to be working out until the relationship deepens and the arrangement isn't enough anymore. Too bad her feelings for Josh isn't Beth's only secret. So I don't know why books go, because this is the copy that I have. And then, is it going to? No. No. And that's the other copy. It's called The Boss. So, I don't know why. But, so that's what I'm going to be reading, hopefully. And then I'm also going to try and pick up Jennifer Crusie Bet Me. And this is like a rom-com, kind of along the lines of Janet Ivanovich and Dorinda Jones, like that kind of humor. And I'm still trying to pick up The Ties That Bind by Emily Rose. And it's Billionaires and Babies. We'll see. We'll see. So, that is it for my reading update. And, oh, excuse me. A couple of days ago, we found out that one of our friends, well, my husband has a friend, and his wife went missing. They don't live here anymore. They moved about 8 hours away from us. I'm not going to say the places or whatever. So we haven't really seen them since before Christmas. He hasn't talked to him since New Year's, and that was odd. And then we found out a couple of days ago that she went missing. And their son is in Children's Aid, which is for America CPS. So we don't know what's going on. We have a feeling we know what happened, but we don't know for sure. She would not leave her son for anything. She wouldn't even leave him with a babysitter. So for this to happen, it's kind of shocking. So if I want, like I said, I'm not going to say her name or any circumstances until things get big or whatever. But yeah, so if you want to keep her in your thoughts and prayers, that'd be great. Yeah, I'm not going to say any more about it, but she has been missing since apparently the end of February. One person's saying one thing, another person's saying another. So the end of February was the last time she was seen. And then the beginning of, like 4 days later, is when she was last heard from. So I don't know what's going on, but she's been missing for almost 2 weeks now. And we just found out about it 2 days ago. 3 days ago. Yeah. So anyways, that's what's going on here. And yeah. So I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.